This is your brain. And this
is your brain on top.
Hey, what's up? It's I, Tom. Episode 38. You survived 37. You're here. I don't know if I don't know if that was particularly that bad, but that was I listened to that one so many times, like in my mind, it's like fucking annoying and terrible. So I don't know if it truly was, but you're here now, and it's just me alone, keeping it low key after the insanity that one was. I just want to have something that's a little bit easier to go over in post. But yeah, I did a bunch of things. Want to talk about them. To start off, Pale Waves released their last song for the EP, Heavenly. It's out. I'm not going to dwell on them right now, but it's a great song. The EP is out, so they have like a tangible thing now. Not in physical form though, because I'm going to get that later. I think in March. I think the physical versions of that come out, but on Spotify it's all there. So it's there. Supporting Pale Waves every chance I get because they're wonderful. But yeah, that's like one of their better songs. Or that's probably my second favorite song. The Tide still being my favorite. So good. But yeah, that was super great. Heavenly came out. It's just been very fun to be like, ho, it's happening. And then you see on social media, like, in 2 hours, we're making it live. You're like, oh boy, here it is. And like, it's fun to kind of be like with this little hype train, with this tiny little group of people. But yeah, it's good times. I've been enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot. They're the best. But I also thought it was kind of weird. I guess not like a side note, but it's a thought I had. Like the two things I'm like majorly focusing on, like in my spare time, especially at work, is Pale Waves and then Berserk, which are like two vastly different things, but I relate to them in both very strange ways. Like, they're so vastly different, where it's like, here's Pale Waves, this like, British group, and there's like, they're kind of more emotional, where it's like Berserk is also very emotional, and like Guts is a very emotional like thing, but he handles his with like more of like an aggression, like an attacking, like defense way, where there was just kind of more like expressive way, flowery is I guess the term, just because it'd be the opposite of like, the blood that is Berserk and Guts. I think it's kind of interesting. That I'm like, they're both very like people handling emotions, but in a very I relate to things that they both do, and I'm like, oh, both make sense. Like I'm almost done with the Golden Age arc, which I'm surprised I burned through so quickly. But I mean, I guess I have read this once before, so I just like it just seems like it's going faster because I just know what's about to happen every single time. I'm familiar with what's going to happen. And so I was just been surprised how fast we get through it. But there's like the part that kind of puts the Golden Age arc to its what's going on? Is that better? Okay, there it is. Oh my god, I think my headphones shut out. What was I saying? The Golden Age arc. It's kind of like it's Guts here, and he overhears Griffith saying like, I wouldn't see anyone as my equal if they just kind of worked with like he sees people as either equal or a tool, and that's how he kind of like Griffith, the villain of the series, or like the antagonist, I guess, because Griffith did nothing wrong, but how he views people. So it's those that what he would only consider as friends, those his equal, everyone else is just a tool. And so, but he's also very charismatic, so he makes you feel like he's your friend, but not necessarily is he actually your friend, because he's using you for his own needs. So every time Griffith and Guts have like a conversation together, it seems like Griffith is like, I rely on you, I need you, thank you for doing this thing for me, thank you for helping me like reach my dream, which is the whole thing that Griffith wants. He has this dream of like going from commoner to ruling the world, basically. So he's the villain, but like he's got like he's got a very sympathetic like reasoning behind the things he does. But Guts overhears this and he's like, he doesn't see me as his equal then, because he always just asks me to do certain tasks, but like we're working together still, but like he's not, I'm just a tool to him basically. So he's like, I'm going to leave the Band of the Hawk and then I'm going to go and find my purpose. I don't know what it is, but I just need to leave this now. And I think that's a very cool little thing to happen. Like it's a good thing to read, because like Guts is like about, I think he's either 21 or 23, I think, when this part happens. So it's like around my age. I think the core of Berserk is like he's 24, 25, like the actual like Black Swordsman section. after the Golden Arc and beyond. I forget what the gap is between the Eclipse and when that story starts up again. I don't remember the exact gap, but he's like in his mid-20s, which is where I'm at. So it's kind of like an interesting, like when I had read it in college, I was like, oh yeah, this is just cool. He's a cool character doing cool things, but it's a lot more relatable now that I'm kind of just like, oh yeah, I know I want to do a thing, but I don't know what that thing is, so I'm going to I just have to step into this darkness and just attempt it. That's kind of what Guts is like. And so like when they eventually like reconvene, they're like, where have you been for the last year? And he's like, I just went in the mountains and I swung my sword. It's all I really know. The only thing I know for sure, that this is the only thing I'm good at. And so he's kind of like working around with that and stuff. And I think it's just kind of a neat little thing of like his guy trying to find purity, and not purity, but like his purpose and but he's doing it his way of like what he knows is, fighting and, doing that kind of stuff, but, protecting as well, because the actual Black Swordsman part of it is his, like, revenge on Griffith, and then from the events of the Eclipse, and then the protection of Casca, because she enters, like, almost like a walking comatose state, where she's, like, can move, but she, like, reverts to, like, almost like a child, like a baby, like, she's very, like broken mentally, I guess, and he feels very responsible for the reasons that happened. So he's like protecting her and trying to make it up to her for having like let her be broken like that, and then also like finding his revenge on Griffith. So it's not necessarily is that his purpose in life. Like that's the thing he was he wants that's his almost his one way of becoming an equal to Griffith. But it's like I was just thinking about this the other day where like I kind of hope Berserk ends, because it still hasn't, which is ridiculous. But the artwork is so impressive that every time I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is why this has taken fucking 30 years to put just to get as far as we have. It's so impressive. So obviously it's gonna take a long time. What was I saying about the art before I start talking about artwork? Oh yeah, I kind of hope Berserk just ends where it's like Guts continues just traveling. He's just continuing trying to find himself and find out who he is and all that stuff. Like this helped him flesh out a little bit, but there's always more to go. And I think that'd be kind of a cool way to end it, where it's not like he just ends on a like happy ending where Tim and Casca together, hooray! But it's more like, oh okay, there's more to go. There's more for him. There's more room to grow. I think it'd be kind of a cool like metaphor for like growing up. And like I was talking about on the last episode briefly, but like I don't know how much of it's like a male perspective thing of like finding that like purpose, but like finding it through more of an aggressive like finding that kind of an interesting like perspective of it, where it's like he needs to find his purpose, but he's gonna fucking fight his way through it. And I don't know, I can't tell because I've never been the opposite, but I don't know if it's like just like a weird male power fantasy or if it's like actually just the thing that speaks to everyone. I'm not really sure, but for me I think it speaks a lot to me. But like I think it's also weird that at the same time I have Pale Waves where it's just like here's an emotional like practically crying, but like I really like the things that they're saying. I'm like, oh, I really reflect on this really means something to me. So I think it's kind of interesting. Comic Book Girl 19 had talked about before for years now. She's a YouTuber that I like a lot. She talks about all sorts of stuff, but she's talked about once like the idea of the concept of like the masculine and the feminine, like what does she call it? Not role models, but something to that effect. And like the idea that like you need like this male figure and this female figure in your life to kind of reach like perfect, zen, I guess. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of funny that like right now it's like Guts the masculine and then Pale Waves like the feminine. Like they're two things that I very much like am relating to, but like it's kind of like completing this like it's both sides of this coin. I think it's kind of an interesting like how they're playing with each other. Well, that was a tangent. But yeah, so aside from all that, I saw a whole bunch of movies, lots of them. I guess I could start with Black Panther because that's the most recent one I saw. And I think at the core, it's okay. It's pretty good. I think it's my 5th favorite Marvel movie. I think. I briefly thought about this in the car today on my way home. Because it'd definitely be like Thor Ragnarok is my first favorite. Cause it's just like, everything's stupid, right? Let's just fucking have a fun, stupid time. This is so dumb, right? And like, they just like having a great time and I love it. Like they just don't really care. And then I like Spider-Man Homecoming like a lot. Like I was like blown away. I was like, this is amazing. I'm having so much fun. Like I laughed at where they wanted me to laugh. And like, I was like just that sheep in the crowd watching this movie. I was like, this is great. I love this. This is having so much fun. I was what Marvel wants me to be. I'm just like, haha, that's hilarious. Oh, you got him. Oh man, oh I'm so suspenseful. I don't know why, but like the timing of me watching this movie, I was like perfect. I was the perfect audience member for this fucking movie. I don't know why, but I enjoyed that one a lot. So that definitely my second one. I'm rating this based on like if you laid them all out in front of me right now, I'd like, oh yeah, I'd watch that one right now. So I'd watch Thor Ragnarok immediately right now, and then like probably Spider-Man. Winter Soldier and Civil War are like close. I don't know. It depends on how I'm feeling. And then Black Panther, I thought it was pretty good. So definitely fifth. But I don't like love the Marvel movies. Like I'd only give Thor Ragnarok like a 7.5, an 8. You know, I don't. They're not. It's not amazing. Like the good ones are like 7s and 6s. So these, the other ones I just listed 7s. You know, like they're not the greatest thing ever made. You know, I enjoy my time with them, and I thought Black Panther was kind of cool. Like it was, Ryan Coogler was doing such a good job. Like he was just making this really cool movie, and I think it's like then Disney showed up and they're like, hey, by the way, you got to put all this garbage in here, and he's like, all right, just give me that paycheck. So like it's as long as you're paying me. Like I thought it was neat. Like he had really cool ideas, and like that fight scene in Korea is really fucking sick. Like the spear choreography on the girl general lady, I can never remember anyone's name. Apparently she's Michonne in Walking Dead, which is pretty sick. But yeah, it's like she has sick fucking spear choreography, and like there's a scene where she fights like 3 dudes with like her spear, does like all this cool shit, and she's like rolling it around her neck and stuff. It's really sick. And then she like jumps down to stab a guy. She like kicks off a balcony, and when she does it, like her red dress like flares up, and she just looks like a fucking like Valkyrie going to murder someone. Sick. And then yeah, they do like a whole car chase scene, which is really cool. The only problem is it's then punctuated with a really dumb joke, which is the Marvel problem, which is like, oh, here's a cool thing, oh, but the dumb joke. Like, it turns into like a fucking cartoon. It was like really fucking cool and like a neat action scene. They were using like the rules they'd set in. Like, she throws one of the spears through a car, and then that car like hits the spear because the spear is vibranium, so it's not going to move. So it destroys the car, and then they can move forward. Like, so they're using the rules of that, and like, but then like the Andy Serkis character like shoots the thing, and then it blows up. And she does a cool thing where she lands and slides, but then the other girl's just sitting in her car seat holding a wheel and it slides down the hill and it looks stupid. So like it's stuff like that where it's like, oh, you almost had it. Like you almost had this. Oh, this stuff is really cool, and then oh, hang on, Disney's got to step in. Oh, Disney's on the phone. We got to change the thing. Like it's annoying. So I think they would just be better. Like I like Logan's so cool because like it's like so hands off. It was just like just do the thing you want to do. Here's the cool property you have. Go do the thing you want to do. And like Ryan Coogler is a great director. Creed and Fruitvale Station. It's like here's a cool guy who does a really good job with the shit he's doing. Just let him go. You still got to step in there, and you still got to have like a stupid fucking like contrived reason to get the villain in the other suit so that they can just fight each other. So it's the villain is just a bad version of the hero, and they can just fight each other, as opposed to like Michael B. Jordan's character is fucking awesome. He's so cool. He was so awesome. He had a cool fucking, much like Griffith. He's super like I can be like, yeah, you're doing it in a way I don't think is like I wouldn't do it, but I understand where you're coming from, my dude. This is sick. You keep doing you, like. Fucking just it was so cool. He's so cool, but like they just had to put him in a stupid suit so that they can have a stupid fight. I mean, it makes sense with this one because like Black Panther's invincible, so like and like they don't like everything is like stated where it's like, oh hey, how does this train work? When Martin Freeman's like in the fucking lab, and he's like, oh, it turns off vibranium, and it's like okay, and then you see that and you're like, that's gonna come into play later. Like this movie's so predictable that I've seen the movie twice now. There was a baby at one of my showings, like. A kid who could not be older than 5, who like at one point like he's dead, oh my god, and then like the I guess the kid's mother or something, or maybe he just turned to his mother. That's possible too. He just turned to him like he's not dead. And it's like yeah, obviously, like this like small child can see through like what this story is doing. Like that's kind of where like that's my biggest problem. Is it's just like it's super predictable, it's super Marvel. We're just like here's this predictable thing, it does the same shit, da 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 da. Where it's like it could have been cool if you just let the guy go. Like he clearly can do it. Like I mean, they seem to have like let up once like Edgar Wright was like fuck this and left for Ant-Man. And maybe then once that happened, they've started like lean up a little bit, but like they still have to hit like certain points where it's like you got to do this, you got to do that. Where it's like no, you have this. Like just stop being so annoying with this. Like having to be like just a Marvel movie where it's like we got to make sure we appeal to everyone. Like just do your thing. Have this cool like he clearly had this like political commentary he wanted to really talk about with like Michael B. Jordan's character being like, yo, we're fucking all the other black people because he's from Oakland. He's like the fucking other black people all over the world are getting fucked on, and you guys are here with fucking basically magic rocks that can solve every problem. Why aren't you sharing this shit? And it's like, oh, it's an interesting perspective. Like that's cool. And like he's been through a lot, so obviously he's it made sense. But he doesn't get a lot of screen time. He's barely in it. It's like, I mean, he's in it, but like he doesn't have enough where it's like he should have been like the Joker to the Dark Knight, like constantly showing up, constantly stirring shit, and being like, nah, fuck you, I got this. But the villain before him is Andy Serkis, and he was fucking awesome as well. Oh, so fun. He's just so fun. Andy Serkis is such a fun dude. I wish he was around more. in more things. Just being him. Like, he was just so goofy and having fun and, like, just fucking around, just having a good time. Very much like a Thor Ragnarok. Like, who can you fucking believe we're doing this? It was great. Yeah, like, it was pretty cool. I enjoyed myself with it. It's probably, I think it's number 5. It might be number 4. I don't know. It's 4 or 5. Depending on how I feel about Black Panther, Civil War, and Captain America 2, Winter Soldier. I think those 3 are really cool. Just kind of all together. Kind of doing cool things. Yeah, it's a pretty fun time. I think the second one's going to be way better. Once they kind of get, because I feel like that for always these first Marvel movies, it's always like, you always fight, then, you always fight the bad guy, the bad version of yourself. You do whatever you got to do, blah, blah, blah. So it's hopefully by the second one, they're going to be like, go ahead. Like, we'll get our Captain America 2, whatever. We'll get that cool thing that we can, like, and like, obviously Wakanda's supposed to be like this, isolated state, but I'd be kind of cool. I want to know now, like, what's the implication of this movie to the rest of this universe, which is weird because I don't really care about this universe that much. But now, after seeing this, I'm like, oh, what they have and what they're going to do paints an interesting picture for the grander scheme of this whole project. So yeah, I'm curious to see how that all goes out. But it's been it was a good time. I enjoyed myself. Everyone's really cool in it. I definitely think my favorite's probably the Michonne lady there. I don't remember her character's name. And then Michael B. Jordan, because he's fucking so cool. And then Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis is just a lot of fun. I kind of wish he dies in it, and I wish he didn't. Oh, it's a comic book movie, so maybe you can bring him back, because he was so fun. It's just having such a good time. The CG in that movie was terrible, though. I know everyone's saying this, but I'm just going to put it out there now, I guess. To not just completely gush over this, because it had a lot of problems. Humor being a big issue. This is a more serious one, which is nice. But they made a "what are those" joke, which is I don't understand how that happened. Don't throw a meme in your movie. It takes too long for the movie to come out, and then no one gives a shit about. I saw it twice. Neither time did it get even a reaction. Everyone's just like, okay, great. Why did you do this? Why'd you make a Vine joke? What are you doing? Vine's been dead. Stupid as fuck. But it came from a younger character, so it vaguely makes sense, but at the same time, it's don't fucking do that to your movie. It's really stupid. And the stupid car thing, and where she's sliding down in the chair, like a cartoon. It's what are you doing? What tone do you want to set here? Because a lot of other times, it was much more serious, much more focused. So it's wait, that's kind of what I want. And they did, camera work sometimes was pretty cool. Like I said, with that shot of the when she jumps down with her dress flying up and she looks fucking dope as fuck. And then there's the part where Michael B. Jordan takes over and they have the camera upside down and it does a 180 from top to bottom to put the camera back right because he's turning everything upside down. I was oh, this is nice. I just when they put cameras upside down. They did an Evil Dead 1, the original, which I really enjoy. I just like the way it looks. I like when a camera's upside down for some reason. It appeals to me. I'm oh, this is exciting. What are we doing? This is so weird and weird. What could we do right now? Soundtrack is pretty cool. I know it's commonly complained about that the Marvel movie soundtracks are or not soundtracks, but scores are completely forgettable. But I thought this one was pretty cool. I mean, obviously Kendrick Lamar doing something like Michael B. Jordan's theme. I believe it's "The Beat to King's Dead." I think "The King's Dead," the song on the album for this series, is about Michael B. Jordan's character. So I think that was his theme as well, but it was a cool, it was cool because all the other characters have a more traditional African sounding thing, but he has an African American theme, whatever. He has more of an American take on that, which I think was really cool. Because it's where he's from, so that makes more sense. And he talks more like an American does than and they all had their accents for the Wakandan accent, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, not bad movie. The other movie I saw recently too was Shape of Water. I'm going to talk about that one because I like that one, as opposed to the third movie I saw. Shape of Water is really cool. Guillermo del Toro, it's a cool dude. Does a lot of cool stuff. He likes his monsters, and I appreciate that. I appreciate his monster designs. I appreciate what he's doing. It was a little long, but whatever. Let me think here. It's kind of neat. It was a cool little relationship there with the mute girl and the fish monster, and kind of teaches him how to sign so they can communicate to each other. And so it's mostly, there's a lot of silent scenes that I appreciate. I appreciate that. We've talked about this before on the show, but I appreciate that, like, those moments of silence. And it's actually pretty interesting, too, because, like, there's, like, three major relationships throughout the movie. And it's her and the fish man. I forget what his name is. I forget the actual creature's name is called. They had, like, a term for him. I can't remember what it was. I don't remember the guy's name. Oh, fuck. The villain there. Michael something. I'll find in a second. But it's him and his wife, like his life, but his like home life. That's that, and then her like neighbor, I think. He was Michael Shannon. Okay, I was gonna say Michael Strahan, but I'm like, that's wrong. Michael Shannon and his wife, and then there was her neighbor, and his like crush on like the guy who worked at some pie place. And so like all three of them were like, it was weird to think that like the girl and the monster, that was the most like pleasant one, and the other two like went real south, which is interesting. So like the human relationships were horrible. Like this is not like the Michael Shannon at one scene. It's like the monster like bites off his fingers, which is like throughout the whole movie he's got like bandages and like they stitch on his fingers, but it's like the movie takes place in like the 50s. So like, science sucks. So they just kind of rot in his hand the whole movie, which is kind of an interesting touch. And so like he just like comes home after that and like has like plain like missionary sex with his wife, and it is so uncomfortable and it's just like so weird, and like it's gross. And then like it gets even grosser when she goes, oh, you're like leaking or something from his hand, or like you're bleeding on me or something, and he just goes quiet and just covers her mouth, and it's just like, oh, it's so gross and slimy and disgusting. But it's like, in context, it's just a regular heterosexual, fucking missionary position vanilla sex scene. Totally normal. But it was like the way they did it, the way Michael Shannon's acting, the way Guillermo del Toro like took the camera from behind them and brought it over. She seemed just like thrusting it. It was gross and it was like a weird and uncomfortable. And it's like, this is so unpleasant. But it's it's the standard. And then with the gay relationship in the movie, I keep spinning on my monitor. He's like constantly going to this pie place because he just likes the guy that works at the pie place, and he wants to go see him and talk to him. And so, I mean, it's the 50s again. So, the pie guy is like, oh, it's so nice to, you see all the time here. I want to talk to you. And then, the guy like makes his very small move, just kind of touches him and goes, I'd like to know you more. He goes, what the fuck you doing here? Or like, this is a family's place or whatever. And then as he's getting like all kind of shitty about like, being hit on by a dude, two black people, like a black couple walk in, and he's like, they go to sit towards the counter. He goes, no, you can't sit there and get the fuck out. You might as well just leave. He goes, you too, and kicks the gay guy out. And it's like, oh, he's a total disgusting piece of shit too. So it was like the two human relationships that we kind of see in this thing are fucking horrible. Actually, the third one is her other friend. And it's like her husband is like kind of like non-responsive throughout the whole thing. She always talks about him like, oh, my husband, he's got to be home so I can feed him, or he'll get cranky and stuff like that. And like you see him later, and like he's like super unresponsive, just watching TV, like, just feed me, and like Michael Shannon comes in, like kind of threatens them, and he immediately like turns on them, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I don't want this to end, I don't want to do this. I was like, also horrible. But I had the fucking IMDb up, I can't remember her name either. Sally Hawkins, there it is. Her relationship with Mr. Fish was adorable. They were just having a good time. She was feeding him eggs, teaching him about music and shit. And then they like break him out, which actually was weird too. So like they have the breakout where they like try to save him. And I was like, oh, I guess this movie's over already. I guess that makes sense. A lot's happened. And that's like the halfway point. Like there's so much more after he'd been broken out, which I thought was so interesting. I was like, oh, that's weird. Like how is this like? I guess that was like a short, like I literally was sitting there like, wow, it was like a short act too. And then the movie just kept going for like another 10 minutes. Like, oh no, that was just the first act. That's the end of the first act. Oh, okay, we got way more to do. And so, because I had seen like promotional stuff, so I just assumed it was like, oh, they break him out, and then it's like Michael Shannon chasing them and like them trying to hide and do all this shit for fucking ever. And I was like, oh my god, that makes sense. I guess that they'd have like this incredibly long, like almost like chase scene or whatever. Like a drawn out version of it. But no, instead it was just they're just them being adorable, like doing things and hanging out, and we're learning about the different characters and stuff, and they have they have sex doing in like the shower or something, and it's all beautiful. Oh, actually that one you don't see, but you see a scene later where she like puts like towels at the bottom of the door, and then she fills up the bathroom and with like water. And there's actually a moment while I was watching it where I was like, That's not how water works. This is a movie about a fish man. Like, why are you doing science to stop? And I was like, you're right. Like, that was like that exact like pacing of like my thought process. I was like, wait a minute. No, wait. What am I talking about? This is a movie about a magical fish man. Like, stop it. So like, just move on. Don't worry about this. So yeah, it was very pleasant. It was a very pleasant movie. Apparently people have interpreted the ending as like a negative thing. I was like, oh, whoa, weird. Because I did the opposite. And I was like, oh, everything's great. So maybe if you see the ending could be good or bad. I don't know. Because like, I think it's kind of the idea of like Pan's Labyrinth, where it's like that movie ends with like, all shit's fucked in the real world, but in the fantasy world, it's not. So like, which one, but the fantasy world was real, had like, it had impacts on the real world. So like, what part of that is reality? That kind of idea, where it's like, we don't know what part of this now is real or not. Is it just in her mind, or is that actually happening? But like it's very, so I think it kind of has a similar idea with that. I think he works best when it's just like this, the weird cross between reality and a fantasy kind of mixing together. This one's just far more focused on the fantasy, whereas like Pan's Labyrinth was kind of a middle ground. I should watch that movie again. Pan's Labyrinth is really good. That's a really fun movie. That's a really, really rough ending though. Like right until that like last minute, we're like, maybe things are good. I don't know. It's like depending on how you look at it. The movie can get pretty fucked up. It's really good. Oh man, I should watch that again. But yeah, I thought that one was really good. I'm glad. I hope he wins Best Director just so he gets something. I think he just did a good job with directing and stuff. There's a part too where like it just starts going black and white, and she starts singing, and they do like a dance number like in this like black and white, because like her neighbor watches like very classical like the dancier television movies and stuff, where it's like they have song numbers and big like kind of like classic movies, that kind of idea. So they have like a dream sequence where she just like she can start speaking, she's singing and dancing with the fishman, Mr. Fish, and then they're doing like a thing like that. But when like into black and white, and like as soon as the color grades started going monochrome, I like sat up in my chair. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? And it was awesome. So like, that was really cool too. But like I kind of hope he just gets Best Director, because he always does cool things. Like I love Pacific Rim, I love Pan's Labyrinth, I love this. I would like to see him like just get something, like, because I think the Oscars are complete bullshit anyway. There's an article out there somewhere, I don't remember where this is, but it's like an expose on like the animation category, which if you listen to the show, animation means a lot to me. I enjoy it a lot. And it's kind of like all the people that get to vote on it. These are animation people in the industry are like, yeah, I never watched that movie, so I voted for this one instead. Or like, and I mean, they get every movie that they get to vote for in a DVD. People, they get it sent to them, so they just chose not to watch these. And like some of them were like, I forget what year it was. I want to say it was like 2012 or something. This expose happened 2011, and so like, was it Song of the Sea? Is that the name of that movie? It was one of those Irish movies. I can't remember if it's Song of the Sea. I forget, but they were like, oh yeah, I'm not going to watch that Chinese movie. Like, they just don't even know. They don't even know what country these things come from. And like, yeah, Song of the Sea. So like, they don't even know like what these movies are. Like, they're just like, animated. Like, it wasn't a Pixar movie. It's probably some foreign thing. It's, they don't care. Like, they just so don't care. So like, I don't really give a shit about like what wins, what doesn't. The only thing I want of that is like, this person does a lot of good work, so just give them the thing, so then they have like, it becomes more like a mark towards your resume, where it's like, I got to do this, so then other people will look at you and go, oh nice, let's fund this project, let's put our weight into this, like, as opposed to like, oh, that was actually the best thing of this year. It's like, no, like, do a thing that gets you recognized, and then just get the thing to like, help your resume out a little bit. Even just getting the nomination, it's a big deal. Just getting nominated, people are like, oh wow, you were nominated for a thing. Because like, I feel like it's just kind of like, it's so circle jerky. It's like, a lot of like, they'll, like, no one really win. Like, I don't think it happens since like, I don't think since Lord of the Rings won a whole bunch, have they like, as one movie won a whole bunch. And even doing that was because they were like retroactively giving awards for the whole franchise, the whole trilogy, because they didn't give any for the first two. So like, because this is the last one, what was it, 2008 or something? They just gave a whole fucking, they won like 12 or 13 or something. I forget. They won an insane amount. That's because they were just like retroactively winning for the other two movies as well. So it was like basically 3 movies versus, a whole bunch of others. So they just kept winning because like, it was like, oh, right. These are really good. We gotta, they'll do stuff like that. Where they'll like, hand out like favors to people and stuff. It's so stupid. So like I don't really weigh that much or care that much of like who actually ends up being the one that wins or anything like that, but I hope he just gets one so that he gets to have that as like a thing, you know. I think that'd be really like just cool for him to have. I think Guillermo del Toro like really earns that, and yeah, so I hope that goes well for him. And then the last movie I watched was Cloverfield Paradox, which I know everyone has kind of at this point, but because you know the big event. But I like the other I like the second Cloverfield movie a lot, 10 Cloverfield Lane. The first Cloverfield I thought was okay. I was like, whatever. I don't really care or even give a shit much to that movie. I thought it was, you know, I don't really think found footage are always that great. You need to do a lot to make it work. And I don't know. Sometimes it just feels weird and fakey and stuff. I haven't seen it in a long time though, so maybe I would enjoy it again if I watched it. But at the time of me watching it, pirated on my computer downstairs, wasn't a huge fan. So then Paradox comes out, and holy shit, what a dumpster fire. I mean, it makes sense. The movie was like later, like fixed to. I don't want to say retroactively again, but that's what happened. Retroactively changed into a Cloverfield movie. It was the God particle, blah blah blah. Everyone knows the story by now. But fuck, it's so terrible. It's so bad. And like J.J. Abrams just keeps coming in, buying scripts, and like, hey, this thing kind of cool. Let's add this. Same thing with 10 Cloverfield Lane. Being like, we're changing this. It's so stupid. It was such a dumb this is such a dumb movie. Paradox is so bad. Like, it's just, things are just happening, and like, no one is reacting in any realistic way. Fucking, I don't understand how certain things are like happening. Like the fucking arm, like the one guy gets his arm cut off, and then they find it later, but it's like the parallel version guy's arm, but that parallel version is dead. So how's the arm moving? I don't know. What does it matter? Why is it? Oh, it's so stupid. The movie's so dumb. And like, they pull out the fucking, basically the battery of the spaceship out of the sky after he has his best alien reenactment scene with the chest burster. They do his fucking best to do that. But like this thing that they pull out of him is like, you know, a fucking basketball. Like, how did no one know this is in him? Like, this is ridiculous. And like the one girl is like stuck in the wall, but she only screams when they get close to the wall and like they touch the wall, so it sounds like a monster or like it's a big spooky thing, but it's just this woman is trapped in the wall. She'd be screaming constantly, and like when she screams, it's like it's almost like animalistic as opposed to like there's no way of hearing like help in there. It's like super stupid. And like people just die. People just start dying on a checklist. It's like, okay, we have 6 characters left. All right, so let's start killing off these guys. Okay, and like the one character, like everyone just like sacrifices himself for dumb reasons sometimes, and like the one guy, everything like starts, it randomly starts becoming magnetic in the room he's in, and like things are like going there, and he has like this cool like little like gel sealant thing that he'll like spray on like metal objects, and it will kind of seal around it, and like, you know, whatever. And like you start seeing like pieces of metal like go towards the wall, and you start seeing it in the background like crawl towards the wall. I'm like, oh cool, it's like metal, and like this liquid is like becoming sharp, and it'll just like stab him. But instead it grabs him and pulls him backwards, which makes no sense because all the metal is going towards the other direction. Why is it being pulled back that way? And then just a CO2 canister comes and hits the wall and it explodes. Because, you know, when a canister it gets broken, it explodes. We learned this in video games. It's very clear. It wasn't red though, so I don't know how we knew that was going to explode, but the movie decided to do it anyway. I'm kidding. Yeah, it was so dumb. It's such a dumb movie. Like the main, like the villain character who was completely in the right, like they were in her dimension. She had to go save her people in the dimension. There's no way you know that you're going to be able to go back to your dimension to go save your dimension. So might as well just fuck all of you, save your dimension with this fucking thing that's currently there. And like, I don't know why, it's so dumb. She was right. Blonde chick, Australian chick was right. I don't know her name because it was totally forgettable. But like she dies like in the most cartoonish way, where like they break the window and her like butt seals it for a bit, and she just screams like with her butt out into space. Then she breaks the window, breaks completely, and she goes out into space and dies forever. Dumb movie. Yeah, it was so fucking. It was like frustratingly stupid. It was like just so fucking dumb, and I don't understand how that happened. Like I know how it happened, but like apparently the fourth one is done. The fourth one is done, and we'll have it soon. Which is weird. I don't know why. And like they've always done cool things with Cloverfield, but like, hey, 3 months from now, this Cloverfield movie's coming out. Like, wow. Or like in this case, they're like, Cloverfield's out. And you're like, holy shit. So I guess the next thing is literally just be like, just put it out, and then 3 months down the line go, hey, Cloverfield has been out for 6 months, 3 months. And you're like, holy shit. Like, I don't know what the fuck you gotta do next. It's so stupid. Yeah, I hope that fourth one's even okay. I don't know. People keep like estimating that like, oh, they threw it on Netflix, like they knew it was bad, but I have a feeling that maybe that was already just set in place and it just happened to also be terrible. Because like the Cloverfield just always does weird marketing things, so I don't know if it was like underhandedly like, oh, hey, whoa, this thing's real bad. Okay, just put it on there and let's pretend it never happened. Like, they don't really care. But also, that does build into the hype, so everyone sees it. Apparently, somehow, you watching it has Netflix affect you in some way, so you can still make money based on, I don't know. I don't really understand how Netflix works sometimes with that. Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know. I hope it actually isn't bad. I hope it actually does something good and not just a troll piece of garbage. That would be great. And then, another thing I watched. Just kind of going through the things I watched. Watched a bunch of stuff. Getting stuff done over here in the Tom Cave. Making things happen. Watching stuff with my eyeballs. Actually, I just actually leave the house more now. Got Moviepass, so I actually go and do that. Moviepass is amazing, by the way. Side tangent here. Every time I use it, it's fucking magic, and I think it's going to fail every time. But it always works. It always works. It's just amazing. $10 a month. See any movie for free for a day. Like, it's amazing. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know why this thing is allowed. I don't know what the fuck. It's amazing. I love it. Yeah, it's crazy. I still can't get over it. Sometimes, like, just hitting the button to, like, make it work, and it just works. You're like, this is so weird. I don't understand how this happens. The future is so crazy and awesome. It turns movie theaters into Netflix, where you're like, you know what? I could fuck with Jumanji right now. I'm in the mall buying bullshit. Yeah, sure, fuck it. Let's go see Jumanji. Like, I'll just do that. Like, it just hasn't happened yet, but it will happen. I will go see Jumanji, because unless it leaves theaters. Or, like, they had that Clint Eastwood movie, like, I think it's about, like, the guys who stopped the terrorist attack on the train, the Americans. They were, like, visiting, like, France or something, or Europe in general, and, like, someone tried to attack a train, and, like, 3 Marines had just, like, happened to be on vacation, and were like, let's fucking stop this. I think it's about that, and I think it has the actual people in it, and, like, normally I'd be like, whatever, that sounds dumb, but I can see it for free, so I might go see it. I don't know, like, it's weird. It's, like, it changes my perspective on, like, going to see a movie, where it's like, oh, that sounds really dumb and boring. But also, it's totally free, and I could, like, walk out if I wanted to, and there's no problem. Like, I went to see Black Panther on Friday, which was weird, too, because I went on, like, a 5:30 showing. I got there at, like, 5. I'm like, all right, bought the ticket, wandered the mall for a half hour, and then went in. Went in, sat down. It was a heavy, thick amount of people, but it wasn't packed. There were chairs open. Sat down, watched the movie, and left. And as I'm leaving, I see a huge fucking line, like, wrapping around the fucking, like, lobby of the theater, and it's for Black Panther, like a 9 o'clock showing. And I'm like, that's so weird. What the fuck is going on with this crowd? Like, what? I just walked in. I didn't have to pre-order a ticket. I fucking walked in, bought it, and meandered around the mall. I found a seat in the middle. Like, how did this even happen? Like, it's so weird. And then, I go to see, but before I went to go see it, my friend had texted me, like, hey, do you want to go see Black Panther tomorrow? And I was like, I already bought my ticket. I could just throw this out right now. Just go tomorrow. Fuck it. I just went to both. I went to it twice. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. It's so weird. It's a weird feeling. But when I went the second time, on Saturday, 4:30-ish, completely sold out. I'm sitting in the second row from the front. Like, I'm looking straight up at this movie. My neck's fucking breaking. It was so weird. I'm like, I don't even understand. Like, I walked in, 0 problems. I had to step over one old man, sit down in the chair, and just walk, like, it wasn't that full. I had seats clear for me I think on my right. I think someone sat down on my left. But there were 2 seats in front of me that were open. Like, it was not a packed theater. Like, it was totally fine. Like, this is like the mall one too. So it was like usually the mall ones are way crazier and way more activity. Yeah, it was weird. It was so weird. It was so weird though to walk in this movie, and then the second time have to fucking be basically up against the screen. It was weird. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the other thing I watched. Power Rangers. Finally finished Mighty Morphin after like a year. I started the show talking about it, and here we are almost a year later, and I finally finished Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's like 150 episodes. It takes a while. And, like, I can't just binge it either, because it's kids' TV, so, like, there's a lot of dumb episodes in there. There's a lot of stuff you're like, I can't believe I'm watching this right now. But when it's good, it's amazing. So, it walks that line where, like, there's a lot of filler episodes. You're like, wow, this is fucking horrible. And there's other episodes, wow, that was really cool. Like, I think the There's the reworked season 1 of Mighty Morphin. I think that has like half the episodes the original. I think the original's like 60. I think that one's like 33 or something. So it's heavily reworked. I mean, it just shows you how much fucking filler is in that season. But there is, so when the show ends, Mighty Morphin, this is on Netflix. I can't speak for the DVD release. I've never actually seen it, but I mean, I've seen the box, but I've never watched the discs on it. So season 3 ends. You're 145 episodes in. It ends. Master Vile shows up. He's like, Rita and Rito's my father. He shows up. He's like, fuck, you guys suck. I'm gonna fucking take this. I'm gonna take this shit over. So he shows up, does a couple things for a few episodes. He's kind of a cool villain. They add like this dumb like power up where like they go to metal mode and like they can just, it's such a dumb thing for them to add. I have no idea why they did that. Like they had no reason to add another power. It looks kind of cool. Like they basically just turn glittery. Like they put like a glitter like paint on the suit, and like the helmets look way cooler because their helmets are already plastic. So they put like a metallic paint layer over them, so they shine a little bit more. They look way better. But other than that, it's super stupid. They basically turn to like Super Saiyan. Like, and just move real fast, like punch real hard, and like whatever. It's stupid. But yeah, they do some of that stuff. And then the last episode, because I was looking at it, there's a 3-parter, and they got real into like multi-parter episodes. Like after a couple, like in the second season, like, oh shit, we should do this all the time. So they started like really focusing on multi-parters in like the 3rd season. There's a couple of them. So they have like this multi-parter, kind of introducing Master Vile, and this metal power, but it was stupid. And they had 2 episodes after that, and 1 episode totally throwaway. Who gives a shit? And the last episode is, it's these episodes are 20 minutes long. So like, they have like this orb thing that's gonna like basically send the Earth back in time, making the Power Rangers children, so they never got their powers, and then they take over the universe or whatever the plan was. And it succeeds, and then they're all children, and it ends. Like it ends with the villains winning this 3rd season on Netflix. And I was like, that's so odd. Like, because I had watched the first, I watched that 3-parter and then the 1 episode, and I had 1 episode left. I'm like, damn, it looks like Mighty Morphin's going to go out, like, really unceremoniously. Like, that's really weird. Like, this is such a big thing. It was so important with, like, kids my age, and, like, it was a huge movement at the time. So weird that this is just going to end, and then Zeo would start up. I knew that there was Alien Rangers in between, and I figured, I guess that's how they do the transition. That's so weird. Then I watch this episode and I go, how the fuck does this transition? They just lost. That's so weird. Actually, what ends up happening? So that in context, that episode ended November of 1995. The first episode of Alien Rangers, which is like the 3.5 seasons, 10 episodes, and it is supposed to be, as it was described to me, the connection between seasons 1 and 2, or Mighty Morphin season 3 and the season of Zeo. And so that came out in February of 1997. So there's several months that like kids were watching this being like, the Power Rangers fucking lost. Like, I don't know I can't remember what the marketing was at the time. I think they were promoting Zeo was coming out. So like, it was not in total dire, but like, it was super weird to be like, oh, it just lost. So that episode's actually the start of another 3-parter where they have a 2-parter intro of Alien Rangers. With this one, the last episode of Mighty Morphin being the first episode of the actual 3-part. Like the first episode of Alien Rangers opens up, and they are, is like, the exact moment that last episode of Mighty Morphin ended. So it's weird, and like, if you don't know Alien Rangers exists, it's like this weird thing, like, because it's a very small miniseries. I think if you search on Netflix Power Rangers, which has everything from Mighty Morphin to Ninja Steel currently, but I've never seen Alien Rangers like pop up. Unless they changed the algorithm, because I haven't searched in fucking a year. But like, it never would pop up, so it was really weird. But I just knew it existed from just being alive in that time. So, but if you don't know if that exists, and I don't know what the DVD thing, maybe the DVD has it set up that way, because like the IMDb episode layout has a gap that'll be like, okay, and now Alien Ranger starts up. It lists it as 154 episodes as opposed to 144, or 45, 155, whatever. But yeah, it was so weird. It was just so weird to be like, wow, this. Like I thought this was gonna end and then just move on, and like the first episode of Zio would be the real transition episode. But no, they actually have a 10-episode miniseries to transition it. And so far, the Alien Rangers suck. I hate them. They're so dumb. And a lot of these kids. I mean, these last few episodes. Well, not the last one. The first one of this 3-parter was pretty awesome because I was like, holy shit, they lost. Like, this is so cool. How are they going to fix this? But the first 2 episodes of this Alien Ranger thing are real bad because it's a lot of just kid actors and they're all terrible. I think, so Catherine, or Kat, takes over for Kimberly like a couple episodes before this. Which I also thought was kind of weird because like she just started, but they were going to end it. I know she is like in the series for a little bit longer, but still a little weird that they were like, oh yeah, join this thing. Now we're going to fire everyone else. I think they just left, but whatever. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so like the little girl who plays her, and she's Australian. Kat is Australian. The little girl who plays her, I think she's getting ADR'd, like dubbed over when she talks so someone with an Australian accent is talking. Like it's so weird. I don't know what's happening when I want like so like this little girl will talk and it doesn't look like her lips are saying anything or like as exactly as this other person is doing. Like it almost sounds like it's Kat like making her voice like a little kid's and just talking. Because like there's a part later where like they literally do the thing where like, you know, people get like a kid gets on another kid's shoulders and they like, you know, have to do this thing as like a pretend adult, and like the little girl is talking and she sounds American because it's a room recording because you can hear it bouncing off the walls. So I think they ADR someone is Australian over this girl. It's so weird. I don't know why they do this. I don't know why they're focusing on these kids. But at the end of that third 3-parter, Zordon was like, oh man, I don't know how long it's going to take before we can get the Rangers back. So it seems like this whole thing is them as children, and we have to live with these really dumb fucking aliens who like they're like from a water planet, but when they talk, they have like a dumb water sound effect filter over their talking, which doesn't make any sense. But it made sense on the original planet because that is a water planet. So like I thought that was just like you know, when they projected out, it was water, but it happens on Earth too, which just doesn't make any fucking sense. So like they just always sound like they're underwater. It's really annoying. They're terrible. I hate them. Yeah, basically it seems to be like, because obviously they could have wrote this any way they wanted because they were just making shit up as they went anyway. But they have so like the Shogun Zord and the ninja thing, whatever. The costumes, the ninja costumes that they used in the movie, so like the movie ninja costume and the Tengas from the movie, they bring them into the series because I guess they were like, fuck it, we got these costumes, put them in. And then they have like footage of the Zords for that is goes with those suits. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, those Zords correlate with the Ninja Ranger Zords or the Ninja Ranger costumes that they have, or Alien Rangers, because they line up with the colors of the Zords. Because there's no pink one with the Shogun Zord. So like when Kat joins the team up, because like they've been using the Shogun Zords while Kimberly was off doing this other stuff, so like it made sense that there wasn't a pink one. But when they brought the Pink Ranger in, they were like, just you hang out with Tommy and the white one. So it's like really stupid. That Zord looks so bad. The Megazord looks like a house. It's like, oh, it's so fucking dumb. Oh yes, I think it was just because they had this extra footage of like the people in the suits fighting with the or whatever. So they were just like, fuck it, just use it. So they just used it. Or maybe they bought the suits too. I don't even know. Because sometimes they definitely bought the what were the Mighty Morphin suits. They bought those and were using those like on their own sets and stuff. So maybe they bought those too. Actually, I don't even know. I think that was older too. I think that's older footage. Or something like that. It seems weird. But yeah, I'm looking forward to them actually transitioning into Zio and like actually having like tighter seasons. I mean, I think that season's still 52-ish episodes, but as it goes on, it shortens dramatically. It goes to like, what I forget the exact thing, but it becomes shorter and shorter and shorter each season. They get smaller and smaller. So I think they'll have a tighter stories and stuff like that. Because I remember watching a whole bunch of them and really enjoying parts of it, and like actual events were happening as opposed to just like a bunch of talking or whatever. So I look forward to the future of this whole thing because I watched pretty regularly up until I think Lost Galaxy. I don't think I watched any of that, and then I watched a good chunk of Mystic Force, and then after that I never watched anything. So whatever that was, 2006 or something like that, where I was just like, oh, it's on, like for until that point. And then so then after that, so I don't really know a lot of it, but I know I've noticed it from when I look on Wikipedia, it drops dramatically in episode length or season length, and then each one is a season. Although they started doing the regular one in the Super series, so I think that one might be a season 2 or something like that. I'm not sure if that's the same group of people. It's the same name, so like there's Samurai Ranger and then Super Samurai Ranger or whatever, or Mega Force or whatever it is, or Mega Force, Super Mega Force, stuff like that, where they'll do 2 of a similar name, but they do super separate suits, I think, in those 2. So I don't know, it's weird, but I had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun with that whole thing. It's been a good ride to go back and look at that whole thing. I'll have watched the whole thing. Sometimes I'll and it was fun too watching it because in the episode where they're trying to turn them to children, Lord Vile was like, oh, I'm gonna turn them into children, and then they're like, I was like, they already did that, and then Golard's like, what are you doing? Or Zed or something was like, what are you talking about? We've already tried that. I'm like, oh, look at me, I know what's happening. I can keep up with the thing, which is fun. I enjoyed that. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to go back and look at this whole thing, this whole endeavor, see what that whole thing was like. It's good. It's good times. I'm happy that I've gone through it. Even though I kind of still need to finish. I need to finish this dumb fucking Alien Ranger thing to see the actual ending in quotes of this whole Mighty Morphin saga, because I think then the command center blows up or something, and then they go into Zeo. I vaguely remember the Zeo transition. Something to that effect, where the command center explodes and the Zeo, because they already found the Zeo crystals, or the Zeo crystal, and they blew it up into pieces, and the pieces are the symbols on the helmets of Zeo. It's the star, the bars, the triangle, whatever. Diamond, I think, was one of them. So those are out there. The Zeo crystal has become Zeo crystals and is now floating around in space. Something I think, if I remember correctly, the Zeo people have to go find the crystals to get their powers. I forget exactly the transition, but I remember parts of it. The command center exploding, I remember. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. And then, kind of to round everything off, go into a little bit of video games. Monster Hunter World's perfect. Everyone should play this game. It's fucking unreal. It's so good. Oh god, so good. It's just I've completed the story and I've done a lot of the core stuff to do. So I'm kind of just the base level progression of the high rank stuff, and then there's another tier of progression, gear wise, I need to unlock. I'm not sure how to do that. I'm hunter rank or HR close to 60. It might be 58, 59. I don't remember. I didn't play yesterday, so I don't exactly remember. And then at 49 you unlock at 29 you unlock tempered monsters, which are the upper tier version of the monsters, and then at 49 you unlock tempered elder dragons. So I've unlocked everything. I just haven't seen I haven't done a tempered elder dragon except for the tempered Kirin, which I'm pretty sure is until I unlock that next tier of upgrades is impossible as a group, because he does so much damage as a tempered monster. It's so crazy. He should be you should take no damage from a Kirin pretty much, just because a lot of his attacks are super telegraphed with big AoE, here's the fuck you zone. So don't go in here. But it's an action game. It moves quick, so you're gonna sometimes that'll just happen to people. So or he does a big AoE one on top of himself. And so certain attacks will lock you in place, or someone has to commit to an attack, like a great sword, or even the dual blades have their demon fury. So that'll happen, where you'll be in the middle of something, and then a big attack's about to come down, so you don't have the time to dodge and get out of there. Tempered Kirin's tough as fuck until we get to that. Once I can unlock that next upgrade tier of equipment, it'll be a little bit easier. But tempered Kirin's crazy. I'm doing regular tempered monsters. I want to do more tempered elder dragons, but apparently once you do a tempered elder dragon, you get the thing that unlocks you to do the final thing, set of progression, which allows you up the defense of your equipment, add skills and abilities and stuff to your weapons, stuff like that. But I've unlocked all the weapons of the dual blades and all the rank 8 ones, and then any other one that has an elemental type that the rank 8 ones don't have. But it's so fun. It's so fun. It's just so good and rewarding. And it's so weird too how much I've tried to get into the series for years now, and then to just finally have it happen, and to finally have it all work out, and oh fuck yes, I did it, I nailed this, this is good, I got this now. And it comes down to just finding the weapon that's perfect for you, because they all play so differently, just looking at it, where I was I'm thinking about testing out one of the weapons is the light bow gun, the heavy bow gun, because the light bow gun was one of the videos I think I retweeted this. Focused in or similar to like a Horizon, where it's like there's a lot of movement, you're shooting real quick, you're moving, you're putting down traps, you're doing stuff like that, similar to how Aloy fights, which sounds interesting. And then I was wondering how much of it is going to be like Peace Walker, where like, because I didn't like Peace Walker at all. And it's my least. It's probably my second to least or least favorite Metal Gear game. The other one I'm toying with is 5. 5 plays well, but it's like so dumb. It doesn't need to exist. So it's like really stressful. As like a fan of it, like nothing is answered. Kind of more questions are asked, and it's stupid. And like it's unfortunate because 4 is such a great ending point for the whole thing. So it's just weird. There's another one. So I don't know. I have a real tough relationship with 5, where it's like, oh, this is so much fun. This is so well put together. But also, man, should it not be here? Like, this should just not exist, and like the plot parts are really bad, and like anything it tried, like it's a Metal Gear game, it really fails. Because I feel like Metal Gear is that like perfect like balance of like really cool, innovative, crazy gameplay, and then like this fun little wacky story going on. But like the story is so tied into itself, and like it's the thing where you see one, they'll reference something, and like, oh my god, that's how this works now. All of it makes sense. Like it's kind of like this, similar to how I kind of feel with Kingdom Hearts, where like you play one, you're like, oh, I see how this is unraveling now. Like that's fun. I enjoy that part of like a story where it's like the story comes out and it's kind of like, what is happening? So this person and that person are with each other, and like that's weird, and like how does this? And then they put out another game, you're like, oh, it all makes sense. This is how this all ties together because this was leading to this. I love that stuff. It's so much fun. But like 5 doesn't do that, so it's only half a Metal Gear game. The more important part, don't get me wrong, but it's just, I don't know, I'm not a huge, it didn't speak to me in the way I kind of wish it did. So I struggle with 5. What the fuck was it? Oh, Monster Hunter. Yeah, so I don't know how like the heavy bowgun, if that is like similar to how Peace Walker played, I'm not sure, or if it's just still the light bowgun, I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm just like, all these fucking weapons are so unique and so cool, and they all play like different games and do different things. It's fucking rad. Yeah, I just want to fucking fuck around with more of that shit. Dual blades are a lot of fun though. Like I don't even know if like I kind of like want to branch out, but I'm also like I don't feel like I've mastered this yet. So it's like a cool middle ground of like, do I just go and try another weapon? I don't know, but also this, and then there's like the arenas, which is like there's I think 9 arena quests total. It seems to be, at least. I don't know, maybe there's more. And because I've barely done them, but like they're challenges, and it's like, hey, get this done in this much time, and they give you like it's a set loadout, so it's like you pick the weapon you want, and then it gives you an armor set with set skills, and then a set amount of items in your inventory. So like you pick this weapon, so this one comes with traps and a bomb, but then this one comes with fucking trank bombs or something. So like so it's like, oh, okay, once we get these two together, the goal is to put this to sleep. Like, oh, okay, that's how like our strategy's gonna change. But like I've never done it with another person, so it's not that fun, and like there's not much strategy. It's just kind of like, what do I have? Oh, I have flash pods and a shock trap. Okay, I'm just gonna blind this guy and then beat the shit out of him, and then once those are out, I'm gonna fucking trap him and beat the shit out of him again, make sure he doesn't really move, and then just kill him in like a minute and a half or 2 minutes, something like that. So like it's kind of annoying and weird. I'm not a huge fan, but whatever. The arenas are weird. That's the one thing I've like not really clicked with yet is the arenas, because they're just so odd. And the only reason I'm kind of trying them is because there is a trophy for it. And I might platinum this game. I might try for it. I don't know. If I get the arena one done, the rest of the ones towards the platinum are just involving you playing the game. They're all like out in the field. Like get the crowns, which are like, there's like giant crowns for like larger monsters and like small crowns for like miniature versions of them, and you can like crown them. And like there's apparently, like in the past, there have been certain quests that you can go do that have higher chances of things happening. I'm not sure. It seems odd. But I kind of want to try and attempt that. It seems kind of fun. But I've been enjoying the game a lot. But the only thing that will break me away from Monster Hunter, and I recommend everyone try every weapon, because you don't know, might not know what weapon you really like until you try it. And like they're all so unique. But the only thing that will pull me away from this is Kingdom Hearts. And I want to play all of the Kingdom Hearts in order, chronologically in order. Not their release order, but the in-game chronological order. The only one I'm like kind of fussy on is 0.2, because like the gameplay takes place after Birth by Sleep and during 1 technically. But the frame story is after Dream Drop Distance. I think I'd do around the frame story, because it ends with them leaving, Sora, Donald, and Goofy leaving for Olympus Coliseum, which is when Kingdom Hearts 3 starts. Like that's when Sora, Donald, and Goofy's story like reconnects. Because I think they've said that the 3 will open with that young Ericus, young Xehanort, like chess conversation. I think you play as Ericus. I think that's what they said. So once we get back to Sora. That'll be them at Olympus Coliseum. And if you look at the promo stuff, he's in his Kingdom Hearts 2 outfit too, as well. So I think that's what that's all gonna be. But yeah, oh man, I can't wait for that. I want to see Kingdom Hearts end. I want to see it end well. I want to see it end. Honestly, not even well at this point. I just want to see it finish. I want to see the Xehanort Saga finish. I would like some answers to certain questions I have. Like Marluxia's whole situation, because Marluxia showed up in this most recent trailer, which I'm going to kind of talk about a little bit. But like Marluxia's somebody is in the phone game, but maybe that might not be his phone. This is somebody, according to Nomura, but like he might just be trying to like bamboozle us. I don't know. It seems so unrealistic that that's not him. So who knows? But like stuff like that. Where it's like, oh, what's going on with this? What's that? And like, just kind of like, I mean, honestly, at this point, there isn't many mysteries besides that one. I'm trying to think. I'm on the cuff here. I don't have anything written down, but a lot of the game has been explained. We just kind of need to see like how much of this plane is like. I mean, we need to know like where Saïx is. We have no idea where he is. I mean, we can assume with almost complete certainty that he's part of the 13 that Xehanort picked, but it's never like confirmed. Like I forget which one it was. I want to say it's recoded. I think it's hidden. So all the games have like an after credits scene, basically. If you either play on the hardest difficulty at the time, so proud, you get it right away. Play on normal, you have to complete the journal of that game to unlock the secret video, which means like 100% of the game. If you play on beginner, you can get it no matter what. You can't get it. So it's like encouragement. It encourages you to play more on normal, or like it just encourages you to have like play. Like it's different ways of doing it. I generally will do it. I'll try to do everything anyway. But I also want to play on. Sometimes I play on normal on purpose because I'm like, I'm gonna do everything anyway, so I'll do it like on purpose to do that. Even though I think it's I think almost proud is too easy. Critical is like a lot of fun. Critical like restricts your health pool and does all sorts of crazy wacky stuff. Critical's crazy. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so they always have these things, the end game things, and there's a part where like young Xehanort. No, maybe it was Dreamed Out Distance. I don't remember where this fucking secret video comes in. I don't remember at all. It's one of the mobile or handheld games. But he like walks into the room leading to Tron's thing. Whoops. I forgot what that room is called. Some of the rooms I know, like I can actually tell you what their names are. But he walks into that room, and like the organization members, I want to say it's like maybe Zigbar woke up already, but there's like a bunch of them on the floor. It's kind of like in Dream Drop Distance when Lee wakes up and he's like, "Why am I not Axel anymore?" And he's like, he sees his reflection. And he goes, "Holy shit! Like I'm a somebody again." Because the way that happens is if you destroy, and I'm gonna get this wrong because I forget the order because I don't remember it specifically. If you destroy the Heartless before the Nobody, the heart can come back to the Nobody. But if you destroy the Nobody before the Heartless, they can't come back. Fact check me on that, Nick, because I know you know. You'll be able to tell me if I'm right or wrong. It's one of the two. I can't remember the exact ordering. That makes the most sense to me. That would be if you destroy the Heartless, then the heart goes to Kingdom Hearts. Then if you destroy the Nobody, or before you destroy the Nobody, so you defeat the Nobody, the heart can come back to and create a somebody. That seems to make sense. If I'm wrong, it's the other way, but I'm almost certain I'm correct. Email the show, yourbrainontom@gmail.com. Tell me if I'm wrong or not, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. So a lot of the somebodies, or a lot of the Nobodies from Organization 13 become somebodies in like Dream Drop Distance, and I think it's recoded. I think it's the secret end of it's recoded. And young Xehanort walks in the room, and they're like, "Which one do you want?" And he goes, and then it ends. So that's, we can just assume it's Saïx. He's trying to say Saïx, because I don't remember, I can't remember who's in that room, but like, there's no one else with an S name. It's like Axel and Saïx, whatever. Unless he's saying I can't remember, I wish I could remember. I should probably look this up, because if I can remember who's in that room, he might be referring to their somebody name, which might change the options of that. But Saïx is 100% missing. We have no idea where he is. I'm pretty sure he's the only one we don't know. I think. Yeah. But whatever. Because what was his somebody name? I forget. It's Isa, I think. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing where Kingdom Hearts goes. and what's going on with that. And like, so I watched like a little thing that was like on Twitter, or whatever. So like every once in a while, Twitter will update me like, oh, all these people you follow like this thing, and it was a video of that guy who does like what's his fucking name? I can't remember. I'll find it. But he does like those little videos where he kind of like parodies the anime community and like, that kind of thing. And it's always very funny. And even this was very funny, but I didn't relate to it perfectly, because it's just like ProZD. There it is, ProZD. So yeah, it was ProZD's video of like, me reacting to the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer. And it was like story stuff, like, oh, what the fuck's going on? And then they announce like, Toy Story goes, holy fuck, and then, whatever. And then more story stuff, he goes, I don't know what the fuck who is this now? And then they go, and Monsters Inc. He goes, motherfucker, like, this is awesome. So like, it's that like, I don't know what's going on with the story, but this Disney thing I like a lot. And like, I am the opposite of that, where like, they go, Toy Story, I'm like, fucking who gives a shit? But then like, fucking Vanitas shows up in Monsters Inc. I'm like, let's talk. What do we got here? What's this all about? What's happening here? Why are you here? That's pretty fucking awesome. Because, like, it's a whole, the whole thing with, like, Vanitas and all that stuff. And the reason that Vanitas looks like... I don't support my argument well, being like, oh, it's so easy to understand. But, like, I can't even say their fucking names right. Yeah, with Vanitas looking like Sora because of the way that Sora fills the gap of Ventus's heart that Vanitas is made out of, so that he just kind of reflects back to that because the two parts of the same heart, whatever. You know how it goes. Honestly, I gotta put this together. I want to do a full video, like almost on like the whole like concept of Kingdom Hearts, but I want footage, so I need to play all the games to make sure I can do it like justice, because it makes sense in my head, and I feel like I'm better at explaining things in like visuals than I am in words. So I could easily explain that with like a diagram, because there's 4 characters involved in this, like this equation, but like if I had a diagram, I could like make it much easier to be like, this is how this works, this is why this happens. But Vanitas being dead, but it might not, it might be the Monsters Inc. one, I'm thinking might be something to do, it might be in the realm of sleep, because they, in the trailer that they just showed, they have he does the big Dream Eater attack, I guess Spirit attack, whatever. Because they're all the good ones, but like he does a big attack and does this huge thing. Like he's on the I can't remember the main one, the dog one is called, and he's like does like a backflip with it and explodes. It's going to kill everyone's PS4, and frame rate is going to shit the bed when this attack goes off. Also, he takes damage during that attack. It's very quick. It's literally a frame, and I almost was gonna break this down like a like download the video and like show like frame by frame like some of the things I thought about this, but yeah, if you watch that part when he spins upside down, a soldier comes and dashes through him, and his little portrait flashes red. It's in like an alpha state, so no one's like, if you ever look at any of these things, Sora deals no damage, and he takes no damage. And also none of the Heartless or Unversed in this situation, even, well, not in that exact one, but in Monsters Inc., they'll be Unversed. They don't attack Sora. They just kind of stand around and do their like idle animation. So it seems like combat numbers and values haven't been established, so like nothing really happens. They just showcase big moves. So I don't know. Like if you want, actually in that exact trailer, this new one that came out, Sora in Toy Story does like a big attack with the big one, the rocket from that movie, and they launch that into the boss. Watch this trailer, watch the boss's health bar. It moves like, it does like 1 damage. It's hilarious. Like this huge attack with all this stuff, and then you just see, boop, and it's like this little thing. So damage has not been calculated clearly, because none of these trailers do anything of that, but in that attack, he takes damage. So that's kind of concerning that you might not be invincible during some of these larger attacks, so I don't know what's going to happen there, but I would also kind of hope that whole thing is a hitbox. But at that point, he's completely upside down, so it's like what would be the attack hitbox is above Sora, and then the soldier's underneath Sora and dashes through him. So maybe, I don't know. That doesn't look like an attack you'd want to use anyway, because it will fucking kill your frame rate on the system. So unless maybe on pros it won't, but I do not believe that the normal PS4 is going to be able to handle that attack without like a significant frame rate drop. What else was up? I think the Monsters Inc. one's kind of a cool concept. The sword's kind of like a cat, which was his original design, was to be like a little cat with a chainsaw sword as opposed to a keyblade. So I think it's kind of a cute homage to make him a cat again. I don't know if he's supposed to be gray or orange. In the trailer, he's both. In the leaked footage, and leaked images rather, he was orange, but in the cutscenes, he was gray, so maybe they're going to go with the gray. But in this trailer, there is parts of him being orange, so maybe he changes color, depending on form, perhaps? I don't know. Or what are they calling them? This not forms. They're calling them. Are they calling them forms? No, yeah, they're forms, not drives or transformation. I forget what they're called. I don't remember. I barely looked in. I've been looking into 3 as much as I can, but not wanting to go deep into it because I want it to still feel a little fresh, but I'm still so nervous that they're gonna fuck this up that I check in. I'm watching all the trailers all the time. I'm trying to keep up, but like I'm not going crazy. So maybe they'll do that because they've done that with 2. When you're in a different form, some of the the transformations in different worlds would be different. I don't know, the color would be different, or you'd have like certain different things. So perhaps that's how they're doing this. I don't know. Maybe that's why he's orange. Maybe he's doing like a thing. I don't know. Or maybe it's just a old footage. I don't know, man. I hope it's good. I really do. I'm really, really nervous about Kingdom Hearts 3. Because like the Osaka team makes Birth by Sleep, it makes Dream Drop Distance, and although they're okay, the command decks are really fucking broken, and they're not that fun to use after a little while, and I don't enjoy using them as often, for long-term play, so I don't really want that. I like the game being reliant on X combos and thinking about certain things, but because it's not in a handheld and you have a second joystick, they might be able to. I feel like they'll lean more into the old. I don't know. I'm nervous. I hope it's not bad. That would really suck. I don't know. God, 0.2 is good, and like I've heard people complaining that like, oh, it's kind of like clunky and weird, but like that's Aqua. Like, if anything, the series does a great job of like distinguishing the feel between all of the characters you get to play as. Like Birth by Sleep, Ven, Terra, and Aqua all feel drastically different. Roxas feels drastically different than Sora does in 2. So you play Roxas for an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it is, in 8 minutes if you're a speedrunner. I saw that recently. Well, someone beating that section in 8 minutes is crazy. And then you play Sora and like, oh my god, everything's fluid and crazy and this is so fun. So I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I hope not. I hope it's good. I hope they're like, okay, the weird like static fight style of Aqua, which I enjoy a lot. I think Aqua's a lot of fun to play. She's my favorite of the 3 to play of the Birth by Sleep kids, which is weird because you think I would prefer Ven because I just like the Sora play. I think Sora in Kingdom Hearts 2 is perfection, but of the Birth by Sleep triplets, I think Aqua's the most fun to play as. So in 0.2, I enjoyed coming back to her moveset, and just like the way she functions is very unique to Aqua. I think that's cool. They were able to nail that. So even though Aqua feels a little stilted and like, Aqua-esque, I hope Sora can feel like Sora from 2. So I don't know. I'd be curious to see what they do, how they do movement options and stuff like that. Do they go back to the leveling it up with the drive forms, and then that levels up or unlocks and then levels up the various movement abilities as well? I don't know. I'm very nervous because like the Osaka team's last 2 endeavors, I don't think they were great, but I'm also wondering how much of that has been hardware restrictions of having, all right, we want to get these cool attacks and cool stuff, so we got to put on a command deck to make sure that happens. Doesn't look there's no command deck in this, so like obviously it's not going to be a huge problem with that. The shortcut menu in one of the trailers is 3 pages of 4, which is insane. That's amazing. Or what looks like 3 pages of 4. It could just be it's 4, and then there would just happen to be 2 other dots. Like they don't rotate through them, but that would be really cool to have a couple of pages to work with on shortcuts. Because that's always really fun to just make sure those work. Having more than 3 too is really nice from the first one. Having 4 was amazing. So then going to fucking 3 pages. That's crazy. That's so amazing. That's almost like you can put all of your magic on a shortcut, which at that point is kind of ridiculous. But whatever, it's so cool. I'd probably do like my main magic and then items and then random bullshit or whatever. If that's the case, I don't know. I have to play with it. I have to figure out how I want to do it. But, oh God, I want it. I just want to see where this story ends. I want to have it end. I really do. I really hope it's not I mean, obviously it's gonna be a nightmare, but I don't know, man. I really hope it fucking God, because A Dream Drive Distance ending was so bad. It added so many concepts that they just don't have time to really go into if they want this saga to end at 3. There's so much time travel, and like the 13 Xehanort concept is so weird, and like, how are you going to play with this? How are you going to make this work in a way that's like functioning with the rest of the universe you've established? I don't know. And the crazy thing is too, is I 100% trust Nomura. I trust that he's got this, because he actually, like, as ridiculous as all this Kingdom Hearts stuff is, and how complicated it all sounds when I talk about it like a rambling madman, everything has a reason and a purpose. There's nothing that just exists for no reason. You know, like the reason that they're all coming back as somebodies, all the organization members, that was established. We know that. I just don't know that because I forget the exact. I mean, I don't know enough about the nobody concept. I mean I do. I guess I don't know, but like, you know, that's there. Like, there's an answer. Like, even if I don't know the exacts, there's an answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so weird how, like, you know, it seems like this nightmare system, but like everything has a general answer. You know, like, there's a reason things happen. You're like, okay, yeah, sure, that makes sense. You know, everything's connected in a unique way. You know, it's, I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope it's okay. I hope that game is good. All right. Do I have anything else to talk about? Let's look. No, that's about it. I've talked about it for about an hour now. I want to make this one kind of quickly, burn through some things, talk about stuff, but also not go crazy like the last one. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, tell me I'm wrong about Kingdom Hearts. Go ahead. We'll debate it. Or I'll just take it. Usually I just take what everyone says. If someone's like, oh, actually, no, it's this, I'm always like, oh, right, that's cool. Oh, really, this? And I look into it and I'm like, oh, that's right. So like, that's always fun. I always like learning more about it. So if I'm wrong in any of these things, let me know. yourbrain@tom.com or at gmail.com. I should make this website already, but I'm poor as fuck. But yeah, yourbrainontom@gmail.com. Email me. Let me know. Yeah, having a lot of fun over here. Probably gonna play Monster Hunter for a little bit. Because I didn't log in yesterday. I want to grab that ticket and then just go hunt fucking tempered monsters or something. I don't know. Figure it out. But yeah, that's that. Again, email the show. yourbrain@tom@gmail.com. Other than that, I think we're done here. I've talked about all the things. I've watched a lot of stuff. It's crazy. I'll go watch more. I gotta get through this fucking Alien Rangers thing. It's so bad. I mean, there's only been 2 episodes into it, really, but I hate them. I hate the Rangers. They're so dumb. Good thing they're only here for 8 episodes more. That's it. All right, cool. Email the show. Comment. Tell your friends. Let us know. You know, whatever you need to do. With that, though, we are done. And I love you. Thanks for being here. Love and kisses.